Thank you for viewing the How to Volunteer with Collingswood Little League. As the emails had mentioned, in order to be a volunteer and working with kids up at the fields or in any capacity through Collingswood Little League, you need to go through a background check. In order to get that background check, which is provided free to the league, free to you, you need to provide your information as a volunteer into our league management system, which may be referred to as Blue Sombrero or Sports Connect. So in order to start that process, you'll need to log in with the credentials that you would use to register your son or daughter, or you can create your own. Come up here to register. For the purposes of our demonstration here, we're going to go ahead and log in. And as I authenticate into the system, it's going to bring me to my dashboard. From within the dashboard here, you're probably going to see a little bit more information. You'll see your child's information from the registration, the team that they're on. That's okay. You're not seeing that information here. This is just a dummy account that I'm using. So I can want it from a volunteer perspective. What you want to do is to be able to click on volunteer. And at that point, when I click on volunteer, it may ask you some additional questions based upon the information that we know about you. In this case here, it's not. But if you do, please answer those questions. And then it will then bring you to this page here, where you're then able to look and view the divisions. Typically, you're going to volunteer at the level that your son or daughter is playing. In this case here, I'm going to make a selection for the A minors coach pitch, and then select the opportunities that we have. As most of the head coaches have been assigned already, feel free to volunteer as an assistant coach, but if there's a need for a head coach, please step up and be a head coach. It's not very difficult. If you know baseball, especially at the lower levels, it's a lot easier because you're just teaching the fundamentals. But I'm going to make a selection for the assistant coach in the A minors, and then I can sign up as myself, or I can make a selection and sign somebody else up in my household. But for the purposes here, it's just going to be me volunteering. And off of this page here, it's going to provide me with questions and answers in some instances if it has information that we already know about you. And go ahead and typing in date of birth, gender, any fields here that have an asterisk next to them are the required fields. You will need to look at the disclaimer text first and accept that. The layout of this page is a little bit wonky. The questions it's kind of backwards in some instances. Have you ever been refused participation in a youth program? You answer the question no, and then if it's yes, you have to explain it over here. And some of these yes explanations are mandatory questions, and we'll get to that in a second. For the references, please populate with legitimate information. And we're going to go ahead and just continue to answer these questions. You can also then populate any certifications that you may have, driver's license being valid, have children in Little League. The next section, I'm going to skip over the government issued ID for the second here, but then we come to these series of questions, and these are the questions that are going to be checked for the background check as well, and we're going to validate that information. But even if you answer these questions no, these are still asterisk questions or fields, and so even if it's yes, but if you have to enter an A if the answer over here was no. So I'm just going to come in here and just enter an A, and then you have the volunteer application. So I'll go ahead and read that. And go ahead and accept that. So the only other thing that we have here is a government issued ID. In order to do that, you will need to take a picture of your government issued ID. Then you can drag and drop it on here and then upload it. Once we have that, nobody in the league has access to the images and any sensitive information, social security number, that type of information. So as we go ahead and click on continue, now we are up for consideration for the background check. Now at this point, thank you. Your job is done. What I will do as member of the board will submit your information along with all the other assistant coach information or volunteer information up through JDP. They'll run the background check, and then if anything comes up, we will then notify you as far as being placed onto a team and being able to help out, or if something we need to communicate a little bit more. We don't have visibility into what the specifics of the items are. It's just basically a thumbs up, thumbs down, a red or green flag that we're able to see on our end. So thank you in advance for taking the time. I know we're probably about the 5-minute mark here for stepping through this and being here to the very end, and even more so, thank you for your volunteering to Collingswood Little League. It is much appreciated. Thanks.